Okay, I'm gonna pull out some messages from books again. I don't know if anyone likes it. Morning clan people are pure of heart and have a thirst for life. Daybreak sun feeds the human spirit. A smudge of sage smoke and prayers at sunrise are not unfamiliar to morning clan people. They assemble before sunup. A new day begins, new hope, new promise. A sunrise ceremony might include a song of greeting, beginning as the first sun rays appear in the east. Okay. Morning gives the promise of purity and a belief in our own abilities. It is a time for trust in existence, a time to realize and claim our spiritual gifts. It is a time for trust in existence, a time to realize and claim our spiritual gifts. A time for trust in existence. It symbolizes a wake-up call on many levels. Yeah, bring it on. Purpose is more dogged than you might imagine. Even if you don't recognize it, you should remember that if you ever consider adopting someone else's dream for you as your own, it doesn't matter how long Aunt Millie has treasured her vision of you as a neurosurgeon. If playing the oboe is the only thing that moves you, go ahead and take that part-time job with a symphony and a day job to make the rent. Medical schools will always be there should you change your mind. You will never rest easy if you ignore your own wishes. Your purpose won't be easily dissuaded. Okay, fine. I mean, what was that about the morning people? They're pure of heart and have a thirst for life. A sunrise ceremony might include a song of greeting beginning as the first sun rays appear in the east. Okay, so I just immediately thought of Song of Creation, which is the Magician card. And the Magician, I always think of magic as something that's either hard to explain, that someone can do, right? Someone can accomplish something that's hard to explain by logic, defies logic in some way, according to our naked eye, right? Obviously, magic does not defy logic, but according to our naked eye, it defies logic. And there's also an aspect of magic where something that you cannot see can suddenly appear out of nowhere. And so that's, I guess manifestation. I don't even like that word. I want to replace it with something else because it just feels a bit like there's words in our vocabulary that don't have enough weight behind them. And they're also not clear. One person will say manifestation and think of something, and another person will think of that book, The Secret, or whatever. The Power of Attraction, whatever it's called. I think it's important to kind of define things. So what I mean by manifestation is your ability to set your mind on something that you would like to see in the world that may not be there, but because you're kind of a visionary, you're able to create something that other people can't see, that other people can't understand. Or even that your past version of yourself didn't believe could happen for you. Right? It could be like on a mass scale, but it could also be on a personal scale. So you have this kind of drive, ambition, desire, and it's focused. It's a beginning. It's a seed. We were just talking about these morning clan people. Yeah. The promise of purity and a belief in our own abilities. It is a time for trust in existence, a time to realize and claim our spiritual gifts. It symbolizes a wake-up call on many levels. I feel like I'm going to come back to that, but yeah. So you're encouraged here. I speak with confidence because the world needs my light. And then there's the victory card. The Six of Wands is basically just a victory card. So there's success if you follow this through, this kind of initiation, this birthing of a new project, idea, relationship, whatever it may be for you. There's success on the other end of it. But there's also this like polarizing energy, which I tend to create when I do readings. Being pushed and pulled by others' expectations, swinging wildly at their whim. Who are you? How are you supposed to behave? Who is allowed to make these decisions? Great strength comes from opening up to self, for within us all there is nothing except the space to be. Growth 32. 32, I say over and over again, is about change. It's also freedom, because it's, well, 32, I mean, as in 5, is about change. It's also about freedom in numerology. Right, so the freedom to change how you behave, like your automatic responses to things, you can be more mindful of those and start to kind of empower yourself. Oh, this is wonderful, but let's come back to it, actually. There's kind of a feeling of being stuck here in the mind. It's conflict, I mean, this could be, again, like between people, but it could also just be within yourself, and it could be both, obviously, but generally is both, but because that's how we work. We're not kind of in a vacuum. Our lives aren't lived in a vacuum. Like, what happens within you, your thoughts affect your reality, and they affect your relationships, and how you speak about yourself, how you think about yourself, how you think about another it can create conflict, right? But it can also create change and freedom if you start to kind of embody a different way of being. And this perceived lack of freedom with the Eight of Swords, this perceived lack of ability to change your circumstances, comes from or is connected somehow with the Four of Cups here, which on an emotional level, you may be feeling dissatisfied because you're not seeing this opportunity that's available to you. And you're kind of focused on things that didn't work out in the past, or maybe the same thing that you're wanting to work on now hasn't worked in the past over and over again every time you tried. And so now you're presented with a new opportunity, and you're not even acknowledging that it's there. And all I'm seeing here when I'm trying to clarify what that is delay. So the Seven of Coins is about harvest. It's like you've worked really hard, and now here comes your harvest. But with delay being the word that's written here on the card, it's giving me a sense that, like, it's going to take more time. You need patience with it. And maybe that's kind of blocking your view of this thing actually manifesting in your life. Yeah, totally. Eight of Coins. It's hard work. It's like you're now being called to perfect your skills, to keep working day in, day out. That's how, like, humans are. I don't know. I mean, that's how all of life forms are. We are on this constant mission. And it's kind of about these subtle changes day in, day out. And a lot of people don't like that, I've noticed. Like, a lot of people aren't living in the rhythm of nature or the earth. They're kind of wanting to be in their own little planet. But this is the world we live in. It's about day in, day out, just kind of tending to things, right? Tending to business. It's not exciting. It doesn't give you immediate results. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes dedication, and it does take this kind of single-minded energy to push you out of old ways of behaving where you may have been too concerned with what other people are saying or thinking of you or how they want you to behave, which is so interesting, because wasn't that what we read, or I read, in that first paragraph, the second paragraph with Aunt Millie? Aunt Millie has treasured her vision of you as a neurosurgeon, and if playing the oboe is the only, is that how you say it? Whatever. It's the only thing that moves you, go ahead and take the part-time job with the symphony and a day job to make the rent. Okay. Yeah. A door has opened and another world has been revealed. Anything is possible here. This place holds no bounds. You're being invited now to explore the magic that is all around you. Growth 8. Back to 8. So we have these two 8s. One 8 is destabilizing the mind. It's making you think that you're stuck and you cannot change your circumstances. Another 8 is tending to that garden every single day. Getting up, waking up, checking, if anything's changed, checking the progress, watering it. Making sure, like, the conditions are correct, like if it's like a greenhouse or whatever it is. The temperatures are right. And I think, like, it's the same process, but one of them gets you stuck and one of them gets you mobilized. And why is that? That the 8 of coins will get you mobilized, because the 8 of coins, just as boring, for lack of a better word, as the 8 of swords is, the 8 of swords is also this, like, day in, day out. You're playing these same thoughts in your head, thinking, I can't get out of this, I'm stuck here, this sucks. But then, if you can kind of start to create a different narrative, then you use your skills, use whatever resources you have, and you start to create change. But it's small. It's tiny change. It's like, oh, what did I do all that work for? Nothing's happening. Why is nothing changing? But that's how it is. You just keep going. You just have to keep going with it. Because the harvest season just takes time. When I feel blocked, emotionally distressed, or overwhelmed, I turn to my breath. Right. So the 8 of swords is what's going to make you feel blocked. And your breath is kind of you can even see it as a metaphor. It's just like an openness, an ability to be flexible, to go with the flow, right? To not kind of put up more blocks than you already have. I let go and allow the universe to do her thing. That's how you reach the victory. Part of it is getting in sync with nature. And you have nurture here underneath with the Queen of Coins. This is very much a financial card, but it's also just a card of being connected with nature, being connected with your own inner nature and the earth as well. And we had this whole thing about speaking with confidence because the world needs your light, and we have infinite truth here. Infinite truth to me isn't just like about speaking, but it's also a way of being. So maybe there's a situation where you can't really speak your truth, and it could create more conflict than necessary. And so you're needing to mobilize yourself by thinking differently, by behaving differently. When you start showing up differently, your life changes. You've got the Judgment card, Alchemy. Is this Judgment or is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So there's a wake-up call. I said I was going to come back to it. Here it is. It symbolizes a wake-up call on many levels. A time for trust in existence, a time to realize and claim your spiritual gift. Morning gives the promise of purity and a belief in our own abilities. The birth of a new day begins with sunrise and gives us our first blessings. The light is new and fresh. Nothing is compromised. Maybe change your rituals around morning time. Morning time is sacred time. Nighttime is also really sacred. It's those polarities that can kind of shift your whole awareness of your day and empower you throughout it. It's important how you start your day and how you end your day. Practice gratitude. Really wake up with dawn. Try that out. Maybe singing, that's what it said here. They sing, they give the gift of song in the morning. Or listening to a song. Or prayer. Prayer can be a song. Meditation, just closing your eyes, getting in sync with nature, right? Getting in sync with the rhythms of nature. Have you ever gone out into nature early in the morning? Or woke up in nature if you're camping out or something like that? And then you're just kind of in a mellower energy, like a very still, calm, peaceful energy. And you give up a sense of self. Where was that? I let go and allow the universe to do her thing. You give up a sense of your own self, your own ego, your own desire. Because it's just part of the world that we live in. It's just the rhythm of this world. I think our ego and our desire is also part of nature, actually. It's part of human nature, right? It doesn't really conflict with it. It's when your mind starts to spin into a place of blocking things out. Struggling, strife, conflict. Sometimes conflict's necessary. It empowers you out of a state of immobilization, right? Out of a state of scarcity and lack and confusion. But is it actually productive? Isn't it more productive to just put the work in? And sow new seeds. If it's not new seeds that are literal, like a new project, a new relationship, a new lifestyle, then it's new seeds that are energetic, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of feeling in your body. I had a friend who said, like, he wakes up early in the morning and goes for a run because his body and his mind aren't coming up with excuses yet. So he just goes straight in for it. And that helped him get out of like a state of depression that he was dealing with. For me, it's always been like meditation. Like I can't, if I'm struggling to get out of bed or I'm kind of in a funk, you know, when I wake up, I'll just kind of not wake up. I'll stay in bed in the same position and I'll just change my breathing by focusing on it, by putting my awareness on my breath and not on the 1,000,001 things that are on my mind that I'm thinking, I have to do this and I have to do that. And yesterday was stressful. No, just like come back to your breath and put all of your attention on that. And if you really have to jump out of bed, you know, it could be like a split of a second that you just are, okay, I'm breathing, and you jump out of breath. Like, it's just it's an awareness shift. That's what I'm seeing. And once your awareness shifts, your ability to understand your current circumstances as opportunities that are presented before you, and your ability to look at things that you can sow, seeds that you can create for victory, and your ability to be this visionary who can create new ways, new doors, new pathways that are opening. And part of it is getting in sync with nature and with the earth and turning to your breath and being a person who also has a responsibility to others. Your behavior, your perception, your attitude can change other people's lives as well. It vibrates, it echoes, it creates ripple effects. Everything we do creates a ripple effect. Whether we're acknowledged and co-creating with others, or we're just kind of in our own state of mind and focused on ourselves, it's still creating a ripple effect. For good or for bad. I want to pick out another quote there. I mean, from the same thing I read. Okay. We are made to do one thing at a time. We're not made to do one thing. Don't cling to any one thing, stretching it beyond its time. If you have fulfilled a purpose, no one can take it away from you, but it won't last forever. Nothing does. You can relish it and relive it, but you must be willing to relinquish it. You might not find another one if you can't let go of the purpose you have. It isn't easy to do, which is why you recognize the image of the person, of the prom queen who can't move. Okay, so that was something that was there before. Without the flexibility to pursue different purposes during your life, you could end up like the most popular prom queen, still living in past glory 20 years later without a new vision for herself. It is a common condition in To an Athlete Dying Young, A.E. Houseman writes, "Smart lad, to slip betimes away from fields where glory does not stay, now you will not swell the rout of lads that wore their honors out. If you'd rather not die young, just to avoid a major transition of purpose, your other option is to allow other purposes to emerge as you finish with old ones. It takes courage, but you have to go on." No one and no thing can give you purpose. You have to find it for yourself. True purpose may not be obvious and may take a long time to unfold, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. As long as you find meaning along the way, that time is not wasted. It's also easier to believe in an unknown purpose than to decipher an unknown meaning. What? It's easier to believe in an unknown purpose than to decipher an unknown meaning. Finding meaning can be an ongoing challenge. At the same time, you have to keep things in perspective. While you're stuck in a monster traffic jam, your frustration and the escaping minutes can obliterate meaning and purpose alike. Rather than developing road rage, you do better to contemplate the inevitable passage of time and your best use of it. So here's a quote by Thomas Mann. "Hold fast the time, guard it, watch over it every hour, every minute. Unregarded, it slips away. Hold every moment sacred. Give each clarity and meaning, each the weight of thine awareness, each its true and due fulfillment." Okay. So all time is sacred, not just morning and nighttime. Okay, that's cool. Yeah.